What's up, team? All right, it is the start of week 7. Oh, my daughter's crying. Should be okay. Well, I'm going back to work tomorrow. So a little sad, but also good. And so let's talk about you. All right, so we are going to do instructional strategies. We'll talk about the winter session and then improvement ideas for session 2, or I should say for the winter session. All right. Well, no, I got to pause this here. All right, I don't know where I was, but let's start right here. So first thing I want to talk about is instructional strategies. Okay, and so this is when we are explaining things to someone, first of all, we want to explain it in a way that they can take it in, right? And a way to do that is asking questions. So explain a process and ask a check for understanding question. So let me do an example of that here. Pull up the high school organizer and show you what I mean. Okay. Not that one. All right, so it's all right. Okay, here's a good question here. So we got Uche's question. So the first thing I'm going to do, I copied it and I can paste it on the Miro board, or I can paste it right at the top somewhere where we can all see it. And so if I'm explaining this to Uche, then I'm going to say to him, all right, so we have 3 different angles here, and we need to know the relationships between the angles. So these lines, we know, what does that mean? You know what that means, Uche? Parallel. Okay, that means parallel. So when the lines are parallel, the angles all have 2 relationships. Do you know what those are? Yeah, they're either congruent or they're supplementary. Okay, very good. So, and then the angles have names. So like these 2 angles, what are their names? Vertical angles. All right, good. We can set them. What equation can we set up with the vertical angles? And then it's real important that the students know that if they don't know how to do something, they can say, I don't know, just tell me. And that's okay. You know, it doesn't have to be a guessing game like, well, don't answer a question then, you know, I'm not really teaching you. No. If Uche says, I don't know how to set it up, I can say, well, since they're vertical, the angles are congruent, and that means their measures are equal. So we're going to set them equal. Can you tell me what the equation would be, or whatnot? Or even if I explain it, I can just say, so can you tell me back what I just said in your own words? You know, the goal of asking questions is, number 1, to keep them engaged, and number 2, to check for their understanding. Okay, so we set up the equation, right? But, and I might say, what do you notice about the variables? How many variables do we have? 2. Okay. We actually solve this? Not yet, right? But we have the 3rd equation. And then we could say something like, which one can we use? Which expression up here can we use with this 4x minus 7? 4x minus 7. Oh, let's use the 6x plus 7 because, why? Because they both have an x. Okay, so now look at these 2 angles. Uche, who's a student. What do we notice about them? Do you notice, are they the same? Are they different? What does that mean? You know, and so it's a conversation, but it's not a conversation where he has to have all the answers. It's just that I'm asking questions to keep him engaged and find out where his level of understanding is. And then whatever he says, then that helps me understand more and more where he's at. And then when I do make statements and explain things, I just explain it from where he's at. So if Uche says, I think that both these angles are the same, meaning if he says that I think that this angle and this angle, are they equal? Then I know that's not right, right? And so I'm going to say something like, well, let's look at this 4x minus 7 and this 6x plus 7. All right, what kind of an angle is this? Is this, oh, she's really crying up there, acute, right, or obtuse? And then what kind of an angle, you know what? Hold on. Yeah, I think I should be good to go now. Hey, there's someone on the organizer. Who's that? Oh, Lua Tamalore, my man, Sunday night. All right, so the point is that there's different questions you can ask. I think the one I was on was, are these angles the same or different? Okay, well, this is an acute angle, and this is an obtuse angle. And do you know the definitions of those? Okay, he does. Could they be the same? He says no. Okay. And so we're going through that. And so we end up on the point that they are supplementary, and that we set up the equation like this. I happen to be color coding, but you could actually be color coding to help them see what the angles are, where they are. And the point is, we're going through the explanation. Lots of questions, but not only questions. I'm not trying to frustrate him and say, gotta answer every question. He can write, I can write. And then at the end of it, just like you see here with Navon's question, I capture everything that we did. And now Navon, see, explain in your own words. So he was supposed to explain that chart and everything in his own words already, but making lemonade out of lemons, I will have him do this on Tuesday as a review of what we did on Thursday. Pretty good, right? So, but that should be there. Otherwise, how confident can I be in Navon's understanding of our discussion there? Okay, so write down a comment about explanations or a question that you have based on what you've experienced thus far. Second, so that's number one. Number two, all students participating. So sometimes I'll come into a session and see a tutor talking to one person and I don't know what everybody else is doing. But all students should always be doing something. There's no waiting. No one should be waiting for your attention. Okay. So, if you're having a group discussion, don't ask one person for the answer. Ask all the students to type their answer in the chat, all 4 of them, right? And hear from everyone all the time. That way everyone's accountable, right? You can use the Miro board. Everyone can write on the Miro board. I see a lot of tutors and teachers writing. I don't see a lot of students writing, but that could change. All right. All students should and one thing about that will really help you when you want the students to explain things to each other. You want them to be familiar with the tools that we use. They can use them too. All students should always be making progress towards the objectives and capture that in the organizer. So if I'm answering, Uche's question, then Navon and Brandon are working on something, Tisha and Justin are doing something. I have them all doing something, even though I might be answering one person's question, might have 3 of them in a discussion, but that doesn't mean the other ones are just sitting waiting. Everyone's always doing something based on an objective that they have, which is based on what they're doing in school. So type any questions you have about that right here. So for number 1, number 2, questions, comments, and number 3, evidence. So we already talked about that. Just be ready to share your evidence, right? And people have been doing a better job at that. Okay, winter session. So right now, stop what you're doing and fill out the availability form. It's very simple. It's only got 2 questions. What's your name? And then check your availability. So whatever days and times you're available, if you're just available all the way, you can check it off like that. If you're playing a sport or something, and then, whatever it is, check it off, just like we did in the fall. We have some new team members. The sessions are going to start, so there's no break between fall and winter sessions. It's just payment, basically. Yeah, parents are going to pay. Baby's crying again. So November 28th is when it starts. That's the week after the fall session stops. And it goes to February 3rd. But there's a 2-week break with this session starting. So the last sessions are the December 23rd. And then after that, I'll go on break, and then we'll come back January 11th. Okay, and the people who want to sign up and see the information, it's available on peertutorsofmaryland.com. Register here for the 2021 winter session. Uh-oh. I gotta update that. It says fall session right underneath. All right, this is good. Winter session is, what did I say? 11/28. 11/28/21. What in the world? 11/28 to February 3rd, 2022. Okay, and we'll have to probably get the parents on a conference call. There is my contact. This is the flyer. Interview by Nicole Kennedy Green, and All right, spread the word. And the last thing is improvements. So this is just, I want to hear from you. What is something that you want to focus on getting better at in the winter session? So just be reflective. What's something you want to work on? Set a goal and write it here. What ideas do you have to make our program even stronger? So respond to one or both of these prompts in this box right here. And thank you. That is the team meeting for whatever week this is, week 7. All right, see you in tutoring.